Hi, I'm Lesley Logan. We're back at Western Pilates with another collaboration with Andrea made of Pilates, and you should check out her channel this week because we have the same thing, which is the ladder barrel short box series. So I actually really love bringing people to the ladder barrel for the short box series, especially when they are new, and then also just to help finesse the movement. Because this is a barrel, it's round, and so it's a lot easier to feel the connection and support, and where you are skipping maybe a curve in the extension or in the flexion way. So it's also another easy way to find how to use the legs, because you get to push into these bars rather than just them being free and floating like they are in the reformer. So I have a magic circle around my legs like I talked about last week that we would play with this. So I'm a big fan of helping people get out of their hip flexors and find their seat more, because that's really going to help the whole short box series be a lot smoother and stronger. So when you do the short box series, you can put a pad underneath your feet, but I feel like that tends to let people think that they can pull with their feet, and then that just lets the quads work, and we don't want that. So I don't use the pad, and that way when my feet hit the bar, I know it's going to be painful if I don't actually use my stomach muscles. So when you're doing the round back, and by the way, if you want more details on how to do any of these exercises, I have a channel for the ladder barrel, and there's a lot, all the exercises are on there. So you take your arms wrapped around your waist and you push out on the circle. So your feet can be as wide as your knees are, but press into your feet, not so that you slide on the ladder barrel, but so that you can really find the strength of your legs, so you're free to round back. And what you want to do is go back as much as you're still articulating, and this is where people get funny. They're like, okay, I'm back, and then they stick their head out. But you have to articulate through your whole back. So you have to pull your upper back around the barrel too. So for me, this is the hardest part, because before my head can go back, I have to get my whole back to extend, and then my head can go. And then you can come up, and I like to use a circle here to help me push out, so that my stomach helps roll me up. So when you're doing the round back, just use this barrel to help teach you that you're not skipping any vertebrae, especially the upper back where we're all so tight. All right, so then you have the tall back. I do like to move up a little bit for this one. And last week I talked about where to look with the eyes, but this week I wanna kind of talk about how to use your legs. So you have your arms here, you're gonna look straight ahead, and when you go back, use your legs, because the further back you go, the more you want your legs to stay super strong. And then you're like, oh my gosh, I have to come back up, just press out with the legs. And then what's nice is that the whole body will float up. So we tend to think that the energy is all about the hands and the head, but the legs are really gonna help bring you back up. That's gonna really help when you go back to the reformer, because this is really a tool to make the reformer run better. Okay, on the twist and reach, again, you want to use the legs to come up. So let's talk about how twist and reach leads into around the world. When you twist and then you lean out, you have to use your legs to help bring you back up. But when you go around the world, you have to combine that flat back and your twist and reach. And so I had a teacher teach me a really awesome thing, because I was skipping my around the world. I would go around, I would kind of like skip through and not go as low as I should have. So your around the world is like your corkscrew. You have to keep everything even. As you twist, I like to imagine that there's someone back here. They're totally supporting me. And then so I have to use my legs, and then I can go all the way around with my rib cage and come up. So it's really easy to do the twist from your arm to come up, and you have to think about the whole rib cage as a whole. And so double check that. Maybe set yourself up where you can see yourself in a mirror, and when you're coming up, where did this bicep turn? Did it come around your face? Because it should stay by your ears. All right, so when you do your tree, it's cool because you have now really warmed up your hips and you really know where your seat is. So it's the same thing as the round back. You'll take your leg up, you know, and you walk and you rock back. You have to use your seat. Otherwise, you're going to have to use your foot, and that's not going to be comfortable. So find your seat, stand on it, and then when you walk down, it's just another opportunity to keep your upper back going through its own articulation. And if you're tall enough, you can always do your circles here, right? But you can't ever let go of this like pushing forward. And it's because when you go to come up, I don't have the magic circle anymore, so I have to use this leg to stand on to allow me to come up and do the whole thing. So I didn't do it on the reformer, but I do have the how-to of the side sit-ups on the reformer in my reformer playlist. Mostly because eventually it just eliminates itself. You don't do the side sit-ups over there, you just do them on the ladder barrel. And it's a really cool sear exercise, really helps strengthen. You can use the bar or not. So the bottom leg is set up on the bottom rail and your top foot's up here. It can be anywhere it needs to be so you can be stacked. Also, I'm tall, so I do a bent leg, but you can do a straight one. It's up to you. The goal is not to go down, but to rather go long to become the shape of the barrel. So I have to push into this foot to really help me get there. And you do 3 of these going up and over, but here's the tip for today, because that's what we're talking about. Push your head back into your hands as you go over. And then when you go down, you're like, oh my God, I have to come back up. Stand on your feet, push your head into your hands, and you'll come right up. So with 3 of those behind your head, and you're like, I'm a rock star. Just make it harder. You can grab your pole. It's gonna make it harder. You're gonna go over, and you're going to stand in your feet the whole time, and then to come up, stand in your feet. And then it's pretty easy. I mean, easier said than done, but you try it. For more videos from Andrea and me, please subscribe to our YouTube channels, and we'll be back next week with a rolling series. Thanks for watching.